Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Mafex Batman Hush figure unboxing and review. Now today we are taking a look at Stealth Jumper Batman. I know it's a variant suit, it wasn't seen in a ton of panels, but I'm all in on the line. Call me a sucker, I absolutely had to get him. Now if you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, it is simple but, in my opinion, really classy. We've got Batman Hush on one side, I love the blue color scheme, an open window showcasing the figure inside. On the side of the box, Batman Hush. On the back, a bunch of product shots, plus of course the warnings and legal info. Now we're not really here to dissect the packaging, although on the inside there's an absolutely stunning piece of artwork. Yeah, I really like the way that looks. Now as for the figure himself, just recently I did review the standard regular blue suit Mafex Hush Batman, and for the most part he was really good. But one thing held him back, in my opinion, from being perfect. It was the cape. There was far too much of it. But with this guy, I can already tell it's going to be a lot more manageable. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, it's the usual Mafex style. Works perfectly fine for me. I really like this style of display base. Now the bottom portion is translucent. We also have multiple points that the arm can peg into, and the arm has multiple joints. You can tighten them if you find they're getting a little bit loose over time. Up top we do have a friction fit waist clamp, but if you decide, no, I don't want Batman in midair, well, you get this rod and waist clamp, so you can have him simply standing there and remove this arm. As we all know, options are always a good thing. We also get options for the Batarangs. We get one with the little ears up on top, and one that's a little bit more stylized. I like the sculpt, and they are of course painted in bright chrome silver. Unfortunately, this guy is pretty light on when it comes to accessories. You don't get swap out head sculpts, you don't get any pieces for his outfit, you get the Batarangs and a bunch of hands. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now these are my personal favourite with the little Batarangs sticking out up top. I also like that shiny bright chrome silver, it's got a bit of a shimmer to it. You also have some shading on the gloves, plus they have used these brackets on every single one of the spare hands. So those wrist peg ports are stretched out, so when you try to slide them on the figure, it's just a little bit easier. What we are going to do now, though, is get the Dark Knight himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. If you were thinking when you first saw this guy, ooh, I wonder if he can stand in as just a regular Batman, my new default 1/12 scale Dark Knight. No, I don't think he can. This is a super unique panel and book specific look for the Dark Knight. If you're not collecting Hush, I reckon this one is a pretty safe miss. Now, that doesn't mean the figure is bad, he's awesome. The sculpt work is fantastic, I love the proportions, I love the articulation, and the cape, as you all already saw earlier, is way better. Will he be replacing my standard Batman? Also, no. This guy is just going to stand in the background, maybe with Catwoman. He's going to look really cool while he does it. But that standard blue suit Batman isn't going anywhere. Up close and personal, kicking things off with the head sculpt first. It kinda looks like the standard Hush cowl, just with the breathing apparatus, but oh no, don't let that fool you, it isn't. They've added these panel lines along the side. His eyes, for some weird reason, are a lot bigger. Maybe because he's jumping out of a plane, he needs to see where he's going. Nevertheless, it's a little different. It's not just the same cowl with this piece glued around the front. Plus, it's not actually glued, it's pegged in separately, so yeah, you can move the head independently of the breathing tubes, nothing is locked in position. Now the breathing tubes themselves are made of this rubbery material, they're painted in matte grey, and then the little box they're connected to is a nice, bright, shiny silver. If you are wondering, ooh, what does he look like wearing the standard Hush cowl? Well, the head sculpt comes off, but this piece doesn't, so no. Unfortunately, you can't take either of the standard Hush head sculpts and pop it on this body, nor can you pop the Bruce Wayne head sculpt on. Kind of frustrating. I would have loved for this piece to come off so we can use those other head sculpts, because, as we know, Mafex is usually all about cross-compatibility. Seeing as though he's wearing this big, bulky stealth jumper suit, yeah, he does look a little bit more big and bulky. There's a ton of texture, there's wrinkling sculpted in, there are straps and buckles and harnesses, little yellow canisters, I love the bright silver, I love the little colours, and smack bang in the middle, a Rebirth style bat symbol. Oh yes, I love the way that looks. Let me know, do you like the yellow outline for the bat symbol? I'm partial to it, but I could go either way. I like the standard symbol as well. Adding a high gloss to it though does help it stand out just a little more. I also like the fact that the little spikes actually look like straps being tightened on his gauntlets for the whole stealth jumper aesthetic. He also has a bright silver belt buckle, and the belt this time is grey rather than yellow. And a breath of fresh air, his cape is no longer this big unwieldy mess. It's a lot smaller. I mean, there's still a decent wingspan to it, but the previous version was just so darn hard to work with. This is way better. You do have some wires on the outside edges, plus on some of the internal spines, and the material is thin and lightweight. It drapes really nicely. There is still a lot of bunching up here at the collar, and it kind of makes him look a little bit hunchbacked, but he's in this big, bulky stealth jumper suit, so for me, it kind of makes sense anyway. Around the back, you actually have even more detail, which I wasn't expecting, but it's Mafex. I should have expected it. You've got the harness, you've got this kind of pouch section that looks like a parachute, multiple yellow canisters, and they do have some bright silver up on top. The legs are also relatively chunky. We've got some wrinkles, we've got a ton of texture. I do like the fact that it looks like these have been cinched tight and the outfit is buckling over the top and underneath just a little. We also have some blue knee pads, then coming down to the boots, some more wrinkles, some more bright silver, and unfortunately some really ugly ankles. Now usually Mafex will have this cap cover piece that comes down and hides this joint, but seeing as though these boots don't really lend themselves to that design, yeah, I understand why they didn't do it. On the underside, you don't have a ton of detail, but you do still have a tread fully sculpted in. For a quick side-by-side comparison, these two look completely different, and like I said earlier, I'm all for it. I love unique takes on the Caped Crusader, and that's what we have here. He's got the stealth suit, it's bigger, it's bulkier, he's slightly taller, and his cape is way better. I know I'm going to get flack for saying that, because you can pull off some really cool cape-flowing poses with the original, but if you don't want to have it doing all kinds of dramatic goodness, it's kinda hard to work with. If I still had to pick one Batman out of these two to add to my display though, I'd probably still go with the original. The cape is hard to work with, but that suit is so darn classic. Next up, here we have Soups, also by Mafex, and he's quite a lot shorter than Batman. I don't know that that's technically accurate. Now, you could kinda get around this by saying these two weren't seen in the same panel together, so it doesn't really matter. But for those of you who are stickler for accuracies when it comes to height and scaling, yeah, this might bother you. Going over articulation, do bear in mind this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm gonna be a little bit more careful. Starting off with the head sculpt, you've got a ball joint at the base of the head, another at the base of the neck, looking forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there and kind of spring back down just a little. Going forward and back, butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow, plus a hinge and swivel for the wrist peg. The torso does crunch forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. The legs do drop down. As you can see, this side is now sitting a little bit lower, going forward to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee that gets you just past 90, a hinge and swivel for the ankle, plus toe articulation. Wrapping up on the Stealth Jumper Batman by Mafex from Hush. Going into this, I was really excited, so sue me. I'm a huge Mafex fan, I'm a huge Hush fan, and it turns out that this look makes for a pretty good figure. Now, he's not perfect, I'll keep it relatively short and sweet. The body is well proportioned. I love the texture, I love the paint, I love the detail, but the articulation is a little bit more limited thanks to the added bulk, and of course the breathing tube that you can imagine gets in the way just a little. The cape is way better than the first time, it's a lot smaller, it's still wired, I still like the fabric, but it just makes your life when posing a little easier. I also would have preferred the ability to swap out the head sculpts. I understand why you can't. It would have been a nice touch, but you only get one. You also don't get a ton of accessories. You get some batarangs and some hands. More than enough for me, but if you want bang for your buck, I don't know that this figure is going to be it for you. Could this guy replace your standard Hush Batman in the display? That's going to be up to you, but for me, no, I don't think he will. He's going to slot in nicely with the rest of the line, but the blue-suited standard Batman is still going to be front and center. Now, if you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.